Hello, Ken and Susan. It is nice to see you again. As you know, over the last couple of months, we have been meeting to develop a comprehensive financial plan for you and your family. Today, we would like to address one area in particular, and that is your retirement planning. I'm going to start off by reading the current assumptions I have about your current financial situation and your current goals. Please correct me if anything has changed since we last met regarding your financial situation or your goals, or if I have an assumption incorrect. As I understand it right now, you'd both like to retire in the year 2040 at the age of 62. This leaves us 25 years to accumulate the necessary assets needed for retirement. I understand that you both expect to be in retirement for 25 years and have a life expectancy of 87 years. I also understand that you would like to consider Social Security benefits in your retirement considerations. You both have the following amounts that you would like to consider in today's dollars. Ken, $23,856, and Susan, $22,840. You wish to live off of 70% of pre-retirement income, and you have varying salary and net income growth rates. Ken, you have a net income growth rate from Uncle Joe's Bar of 3.5% annually, and Susan, you expect a 4% increase annually in your salary. You are both comfortable assuming a 3% inflation rate and a 7% annual return on your retirement assets. I also understand that you wish to sell Uncle Joe's at or before retirement age. I understand, Ken, that you believe Uncle Joe's currently has a fair market value of $138,000, and it will continue to grow in value 3.5% annually. Susan, it appears that you have a Section 403B plan through your employer, Anytown School District. It also appears that Anytown School District has a employer match where they will match $1 for every $4 contributed up to an employer maximum of 2% of salary. It looks like you currently contribute 5% of your salary, or $2,860 annually, and your employer match for the year is $715. Your current Section 403B plan value is $31,331. Ken, according to our records, you have an IRA through your bank. You opened this account 10 years ago and initially contributed $2,000 annually from 2005 to 2009, and you have contributed $3,000 annually since 2009. Your current value of this IRA is $27,942. Although I have the values of these retirement plans, I do not have a current asset allocation. The next time we meet, I would like you to bring along the information necessary so I can ensure that your retirement plans have the assets allocated properly so that they have the best probability of reaching your 7% expected return, or possibly even better. The previous Social Security amounts mentioned before are the benefits at full retirement age. Full retirement age for anybody born after 1960 is 67. If you wish to retire at age 62, you are still entitled to receive some of your Social Security benefits, but since you are retiring earlier and will be withdrawing for a longer period, your monthly benefits will be reduced. If you retire at age 62 and your full retirement age is 67, you are withdrawing for an additional 60 months, and your benefits will reduce by 30%. So you only receive 70% of the aforementioned amounts annually, since you are withdrawing for a longer period of time. Susan, it also appears that you are a participant in a state teacher retirement plan, but you do not wish to consider this in your retirement planning because you feel it is mismanaged and may not be a viable option at retirement. In the future, we could reevaluate this plan. If it appears it is being managed better or is a viable option, we can adjust the amount of retirement income needed from your Section 403B plan. Under the assumptions previously mentioned, such as retiring at age 62, the reduction that will take place in your Social Security benefits, your expected net income and salary growth rates, your expected rate of return, and so on, I have determined that you'll need to save the following amounts each year respectively. Ken, you'll need to save $16,023, and Susan, $16,344. This does not factor in the sale of Uncle Joe's Bar and using those proceeds for retirement. If we factor in the sale of Uncle Joe's Bar and it is sold in 25 years, and the 3.5% increase in fair market value assumption remains true, the value of Uncle Joe's would be approximately $326,000. Using the basis of $40,000 previously provided by Ken, this would result in a gain of approximately $286,000, which would be subject to a capital gain tax. Using a capital gain tax rate of 15%, you guys should meet with a tax professional to make sure that this rate will still be applicable at the time of the sale of the bar. But using this 15% rate would result in a tax of $42,000 $919. This results in net of tax proceeds of approximately $283,000 that we can factor into the amount needed to be saved for retirement on Ken's behalf. Factoring this amount in, his annual savings would need to be approximately $11,545. This amount and the amount Susan needs for her retirement planning is substantially more than what you guys are currently saving, of $3,200, $1,860 respectively. Looking at your current cash flow situation, I do not see it being feasible for you to save this much annually for retirement, so I do not believe that retiring at 62 under the current assumptions is a feasible option. Also, with retiring at 62, there is an additional concern with health insurance. Since you guys are currently covered by Susan's employer, Anytown School District, once she retires, this benefit will no longer be available to you. And you are not eligible for Medicare until age 65, so any medical insurance coverage from 62 to 65 would have to be out of pocket. I have developed a recommendation of waiting until age 67 for you both to retire if this is something you are capable of. There are several advantages of waiting until 67 to retire. There will be no reduction in your Social Security benefits. You'll have 5 less years of retirement that needs to be funded. You'll have 5 more years for your assets to accumulate. Additionally, there will be no gap in your health insurance, as you'll be covered under Susan's employer until she retires, which at that point, at age 67, you will be eligible for Medicare. Using the previous assumptions, with the exception that you will retire at age 67, Uncle Joe's will be sold at age 60 when Ken is 67, and I use the assumption that we are going to move your individual stocks and mutual funds into Susan's retirement plan. I came up with the following amounts that need to be saved annually. Ken, you would have to save $4,444 annually, and Susan $6,104 annually. This only results in the following increased amount of savings. Ken, you would need to save an additional $1,444. Susan, an additional $2,100. The portion of the difference between what Susan would need to save and what she's currently saving will be picked up by her employer contribution as she maxes out the employer maximum contribution. Susan is currently leaving some free money on the table in the sense that she is not maximizing her employer match. Susan, you should increase your contribution to 8% of her salary to fully maximize the employer match. I understand that asking you to retire 5 years later than you planned may be extremely difficult. There are some other assumptions we could change in order for you to retire earlier, such as instead of using your net income and salary growth rates, which would result in a higher pre-retirement income and which would result in more savings needed to match your 70% of pre-retirement income, we could use 70% of today's income and adjust it for inflation. This may be appropriate because your expenses that need to be covered during retirement may be closely related to the inflation rate rather than your salary rate or your growth rate. This is something we should consider. Additionally, we can investigate retiring somewhere between the age of 62 and 67. Social Security benefits are reduced for retiring between the ages of 62 and 67 because you are drawing over a longer period of time. For instance, if you retired at age 65, you would not be drawing on as many periods as you would if you were 62, so your benefits would be reduced by less than the 30% they are reduced if you retired at age 62. In addition, once again, you would be eligible for Medicare and there would be no gap in your health insurance. In addition, waiting until age 65 or anywhere in between would reduce the number of years you're in retirement and increase the number of years you have to accumulate assets. Also, Uncle Joe's would probably increase in value, which would provide more money for your retirement goals because the proceeds from the sale would be higher. In the future, some assumptions may change as well. You may have some more income that you could devote to your retirement planning, as certain expenses may decrease or diminish over time. You won't have them at all anymore, such as the $9,600 that you provide in assistance annually to your mothers. In the case that this assistance is no longer needed, this could be provided for your retirement plan. Also, your retirement assets could perform better than the 7% that you expect, or conversely, they could perform worse. So this may allow you to retire earlier or later. In addition, you may not need the full 60% of your retirement income. We'll continue to monitor the situation and make changes accordingly. I know this is a lot to think about, so I'll give you some time to think about this. And the next time we meet, we may be able to target a retirement date that is both feasible and closer to your originally anticipated retirement date. Please let me know if you have any questions in the meantime, and I look forward to meeting with you again.